All right, hey everyone, this is Paul C. Torino, nutritional therapist and Atavist life coach out of Las Vegas, Nevada, here to talk to you about digestion. And specifically, we're going to talk about how digestion is supposed to work, and then we're going to give you some natural remedies that you can use to strengthen your digestion, and then also some supplemental recommendations if that's something that you might need. A lot of people, when they come to work with us, before working with us, they're experiencing digestive issues like gas and bloating and belching and constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, heartburn, those types of things, everything in between. And then most of those people, when they transition to a real food way of eating, and specifically when they structure their eating the way that we recommend, like almost all of those digestive issues go away. Now, some people have a transitional adaptation process, or maybe even what feels like an adjustment, okay? So, and that can manifest itself as what looks like digestive systems. So specifically, some of our people would go through what feels like a constipation phase, where bowel movements get to be a little bit slower, less frequent, maybe a little bit more hard, more dense, maybe even they seem a little bit smaller. And I certainly remember going through a phase like that years ago when I first started adopting a real food way of eating. I think I was a little bit too low carb, so like what we see is, we're not anti-carbs, we're not low carb, but we are lower carb-ish compared to a standard American diet way of eating. And so if you end up eliminating a lot of carbs, that's one thing that can contribute to what feels like slower bowel movements. And then there's all kinds of other, ideas around that. The body's kind of slowing things down so it can access a lot of nutrients it hasn't had before and things like that. So let's talk about how digestion is supposed to work, because this is a crucial piece of this whole puzzle, and I think most people don't understand what's supposed to go on with proper digestion. Of course, we got a helicopter or a plane coming over right now. Hopefully that's not going to be too loud. All right, so digestion is supposed to be a north to south operation, meaning that in my preparation of food, I start to initiate all kinds of beneficial digestive processes, all right? So if I'm prepping my food at home, I'm thinking about my food, I'm seeing my food, I'm smelling it, I'm throwing it in the skillet, and I'm smelling all that, and maybe throwing it in the oven or whatever. And so that starts to initiate digestive juices in the rest of my system. My organs start to communicate with each other. My pancreas sends signaling to the stomach and the liver and the gallbladder. And then also my juices start to rev up production. So like my hydrochloric acid production starts to rev up, and all the different enzymes start to rev up. And so just thinking about seeing and smelling my food starts to strengthen my digestive processes. When I put food in my mouth, the better I can chew my food, the better for the rest of my system, because the smaller I can make those globules, if I can make it into a paste, even better, then the less my stomach has to do, because my stomach doesn't have teeth. The best my stomach can do is churn things a little bit. And so I want to chew my food really well. Now, when I chew my food, I'm also sending signaling to the rest of my system, because it's kind of like telling the body what's about to come down the pipeline. Now, in my mouth, when I chew my food really well, I'm also starting to secrete saliva. And in the saliva, I have what we call salivary amylase. It's a carbohydrate digesting enzyme. And so as I'm chewing my food, I break down simple carbohydrates. That salivary amylase follows my food down the rest of my system. And by the time my food hits my stomach, then I have some already pre-digested food, pre-digested carbohydrates. My stomach's got copious amounts of hydrochloric acid, and it's ready to digest proteins and things like that and assimilate minerals. Now, most people falsely believe, because of conventional wisdom, that you're not supposed to have a lot of acid in your stomach, but the reality is you're supposed to have a ton of acid in the stomach, because the stomach is all about digesting meats and proteins and assimilating minerals. Now, in order to do that, I have to activate a protein digesting enzyme called pepsin, and the only way to do that is with a strong acidic level or a low pH. So if you're experiencing things like heartburn or any other digestive issues in the functional world, we would say that it's almost always because of low stomach acid. And counterintuitively, you would think that heartburn is the result of too much acid, but what's really happening is your body's not making enough acid, and so because it's not making enough acid, it starts to slow everything down until it can get enough acid made, and in that slowing down, things start to bottle up inside the stomach and push up on the esophagus, and that's how we get acid reflux. So the solution is actually to increase the acidic level in the stomach or lower the pH level. That happens typically automatically when you eat real food and you practice good digestive habits, but there's some other things we can talk about here in a little bit. So if you have a strong acidic level and everything in the stomach has been acidified properly, by the time it moves into the small intestine, that acidic level is going to trigger other signaling to the pancreas and what kind of enzymes it needs to secrete into the small intestine, and everything starts to flow really smoothly, and you start to initiate peristalsis and the movement of the small intestines and the large intestines and things like that. So there's other things that happen throughout the rest of the digestive system, but the things that we can control and the things that are really beneficial is that initial piece where you prep your food, you think about it, you see it, you smell it, you take take the time to chew your food, you do things in a calm and relaxed state, and that's, for most people going to be extremely powerful. All right, so when introducing real food, even if it's the right thing for your body, if it's something that your body's not used to, then your body's going to have to go through this recalibration process. And for some people, that can be somewhat uncomfortable. Just like if I haven't worked out for 6 months and then I go do a full-blown CrossFit workout out of nowhere, I'm going to go through a soreness phase. Your body's also going to go through this phase where it has to recalibrate its digestive processes. All right, so here's some things that you can do for free that are super simple, super easy. I mean, relatively free. And for most people, this is going to work wonders. Okay, so first of all, you want to commit to 100% real food, and ideally you would eat only 3 meals a day at the max, because you want to have a strong digestive effort, and then you want to have some space so the body can take a rest from that digestive effort and then have another strong digestive effort at the next meal. So we'd say maximum of 3 meals a day with minimal snacking to no snacking, ideally maybe even 2 meals per day. And then, of course, practice all the digestive habits that we just mentioned. So make sure that you see, prep, think about your own food. Hopefully that helicopter noise doesn't drown this out. Perfect. All right. So ideally, you're thinking about prepping your own food. You're going through the whole chewing process. I would definitely make sure that you sit down while you're eating, because digestion is a parasympathetic autonomic nervous system mode operation, meaning that I need to be calm and relaxed for all these juices to flow, for my intestinal sphincters to open up. And so if I'm standing on my feet walking around, my body probably thinks there's a little bit more going on, and it's probably not as calm and relaxed. So you definitely want to sit down while you're eating. Practicing grace, saying a little meal prayer and things like that is great. Make sure that after you eat, you spend about 30 minutes staying in a calm, relaxed state. You definitely don't want to work out after, within 30 minutes of eating. Ideally, you'd work on an empty stomach anyway, So the next thing that you'd want to do is make sure that you have carbohydrates in the transitional phase. So a lot of people that we work with, I think, falsely believe that carbohydrates are the biggest problem. I think the amounts might be a problem, but in the transitional phase, don't try to go too low carb. Make sure that you're having some safe starches and some fruits in the evening most nights, and most people are going to see that help with their constipation or what feels like constipation issues. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you hydrate properly. So hydration, you don't have to be neurotic about it long term, but in the beginning, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting about half your body weight in ounces per day, up to 100 ounces max per day. So if I weigh 160 pounds, I'd be getting about 80 ounces of hydration or water in a day, clean, filtered, pure water. If I weighed 250 pounds, I would want to max out at about 100 ounces per day. After your transitional phase, you've adopted real food, you feel really good about things, you can pretty much hydrate to thirst, but in the beginning, it really helps to have that half your body weight in ounces as a goal. And then also another holistic remedy that's known really well in the holistic realm would be to strengthen your acidic level in your body or in your upper GI by having a little bit of apple cider vinegar in the morning. I'd say about 1 to 2 tablespoons with a squeeze of lemon, and do that first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. That will help your body start to make its own hydrochloric acid productions. And then also you can have a little bit of apple cider vinegar with a squeeze of lemon before meals or with your main meals, and that will also help your acidic level. Now, some supplementations that we recommend, we have a product in the SHT community, in our community, called Hydrozyme that we sell through Biotics Research. And I'm telling you right now, of all the different supplements that we sell, that would be the product of our freaking community, because I don't care what your digestive issue is. If you take Hydrozyme, it tends to resolve almost everything. All right, remember, we talked about before, strong acidity is crucial in the upper GI, and most people in the functional realm would say that most digestive issues, no matter what they are, can be attributed to hypochlorhydria, or what is also known as low stomach acid. So Hydrozyme helps with that. It helps to strengthen your body's upper GI acidity, and that helps to make everything else flow very, very smoothly. If you do doTERRA has a product called Terrazyme, which we also like. It has a lower HCl and pepsin content. It also has other digestive enzymes, so that would be something you might want to give it a try. And then some essential oils that we love from doTERRA would be Digest Zen and also ginger. Okay. Now, finally, if you have really stubborn constipation issues and you're trying these things out, then you can also do magnesium to bowel tolerance tests, and that's super easy to do, and you can reach out to our office and we can help you with that transitional phase. I hope that's been beneficial. Give us some feedback on it. If you experience digestive issues in any way, make sure that you watch this video, read the blog post with supporting information below. We also have a PDF handout that you can get by simply entering your name and email, and you get a downloadable PDF copy of that. And then if you'd like to try the Hydrozyme or any of the supplement recommendations that we recommend, just reach out to our office because we keep that stuff stocked. There is a protocol that you want to go through, a dosing protocol that we need to make sure that you have. And then let us know how things work out, okay? We care about you guys so much. Thank you.